Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiramanachari, Yashodanandana Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Srila Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम राम। That like can be switched off, that one. So very nice to see so many of you up in the morning. So we have to congratulate every one of you for already getting up in the morning, even before being taught about the importance of the morning. Generally, when we hold camp, 1/3 boys get up on time. But the next 1/3 is a little difficult for them. Third 1/3, you cannot find them at all. But here, almost everybody is here. Very happy to see. You see, the Vedas say the purpose of human form of life is to turn our attention from the dying material body to the eternal spiritual soul. You can easily see the difference between the material body and the spirit soul. Like, what is important? Is the car important or driver important? Imagine your friend was driving a car fastly and there was a terrible accident. What is the first thing you will ask? Any damage happened to car? Will you ask? What will you ask? First you will ask, is that fellow alive? After the accident. And if somebody tells you, yes, he is alive. And what is the next thing you will ask? Any accident for his hands or legs? Is he admitted in the hospital? Then if they say, no, not any serious damage to him. Then you may ask about the car. Show me the photo, let me say how bad the car was damaged. That comes later, correct, no? That is not as important as survival of your friend, which clearly shows you all know the importance of the spirit over matter, correct, no? Yeah. Like Srila Prabhupada gives an example. If you take a nariyal, a big coconut, Outside there is fiber. You open the fiber, then there's a shell. Inside the shell there is the white coconut. Then there is coconut water inside. Right? Out of these things, what is edible for you in this? The coconut. And the coconut, that's coconut pulp and the coconut water. Correct, no? The other two, they are coverings to protect this one. Correct, no? When you cut the coconut, you remove that fiber, remove the shell, and you throw it. And then you only eat the coconut and water. Similarly, in this body, our gross body is like the fiber, subtle body is like the shell, and the soul is like the coconut. And the Krishna Prem in the heart of the soul is like the coconut water. So, what is important out of these four things? Only coconut water? Coconut also? What is important? Four things are there: coconut fiber, coconut shell, coconut, and coconut water. Which one? Okay, some are saying coconut water. Then see, the first two things are not important, correct? No? The coconut fiber and the shell are not as important because you throw them away. But what you keep with you is the coconut and the coconut water. Similarly, the soul and the love for God. These two things are most important. Whereas the gross body, subtle body, they are material. Whereas the soul and love for God is spiritual. So that's why we should know the importance of spirit over matter. Correct? No? That's a very important thing. There is one song Shankara says, Yavat pavano nivasati dehe tavat pruchati kushalam gehe gatavati vayu dehapaye bharyam bibhyati tasmin kaye bhaja govindam govindam bhaja mudhamate. You know what he's saying? Oh, fool, chant the name of Govinda, he says. Why? As long as the Atma resides in this body, spirit soul, this body has some value. People will come and ask you, you got sick, are you all right? And you may say, yes, I am fine. You may say. But the soul leaves the body, nobody will care about the body. See, right now, all of you sitting here, you're alive and conscious. Imagine you're sitting in the train, somebody is pushing and somebody hits your head like this. Immediately you turn and say, hey, what is this? You become angry or not? Somebody hits the head like this by mistake also. And he may say, sorry, sorry. But after a person dies, you can kick on his face, he can't speak anything. Correct, no? Such is the nature of material body. And that material body is fed to the fire. Even by the near and dear relatives also. Bharyam pipati tasmin gaya, he says. Even a wife will be afraid of the husband's dead body, he's saying. And it is a true fact. In IT company Bangalore, one fellow was almost 38 years or so. He died suddenly by massive heart attack. His wife was like 33, 34. She was crying at 9 o'clock at night. He was working in the computer. He just got a heart attack and he left. So she called her parents in Bombay. She said, this fellow suddenly has died. What to do? Doctors have declared that he is dead. They said, oh really? Now it is becoming 10 o'clock at night. And you just keep the body in ice. Morning we will come. Early morning we will do everything tomorrow, they said. But the wife asked, that is all right, but where should I stay tonight? She asked. You just keep the body in one room, you sleep in another room. She said, no, I'm afraid. She said, because Bhut, Pret, Pishach, she's afraid. The same body which she was embracing, kissing, now she doesn't want to go anywhere near that body. That has started stinking, metabolism has stopped. So the whole body has become horrible, obnoxious. You don't want to keep it even for a few hours also. Any of your son's stinking body, correct, no? You want to send it to graveyard immediately and burn it. So even the wife doesn't want to touch the body also after the soul has left. Therefore, we should know this is the destination of every material body. You will see that. There is not one person in this world for millions of years is still living, hanging around with the same material body. You will not find. Everybody born in this world has to leave the body one day. Therefore, I told you, the spiritual life means the focus is on eternal spirit soul instead of focus on the dying material body. Body is a dying material body. Just like you bring television from the market, packed with a nice thermocol. Hmm. Out of the two, which is important? Television is important or thermocol is important? Yeah. One time in my school days, in my compound, somebody brought a TV. All the children were walking behind the big box. When they brought the box inside the house, they opened it and they took out the TV. And then thermocol, they just threw it in one corner. And children came and said, Uncle, can we take this? And uncle, okay, take it. Go and play, he said. So children took it and said, Uncle is such a kind uncle. He gave us this thermocol. They were saying, it's a very valuable thing. And that fellow didn't even care. He was about to throw it in dustbin. Similarly, our body is like thermocol only. And like the uh, TV is more important. Similarly, the spirit soul is more important. Correct? Huh? So, this knowing the difference between matter and spirit is the most important thing, which the whole world is ignorant of. Therefore, Krishna uses two words, jnana chakshush, and another word is mudha. Namam dushkritino mudha, Krishna says. Mudha means one who doesn't know the difference between soul and body. It's called as mudha. There is a verse it says, Utkramantam siddham vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam vimudha nanu pashyanti jnana chakshushaha. Jnana chakshush people know how the living bodies have got a spirit in that body, how the spirit is living in the body. And then when spirit leaves, the body is called dead. The spirit leaves with the mind. It takes the mind and goes. But the gross body is called dead. It is fed to the fire. So, gross body appears very attractive. You may put powder, you may comb the hair and keep it very nice. But when it dies, it is stinking, it is horrible, obnoxious, it is thrown into the fire. Just like a carry bag is valuable as long as some gulab jamun or something is there. Once you bring that out, carry bag goes to dustbin. It has no value. Yeah, therefore it's called carry bag. So that means the body you see in the mirror is a carry bag for the soul. Once the carry bag is, soul is out, then the carry bag, does it carry any value? Yeah, it's just a package, package for the soul. So, and why this carry bag body is given to us? It is the precipitate of the subtle body. The subtle body has desires to do something, and those desires, for executing them, this gross body is given. Correct now? Like right now, for example, every one of us sitting here, you all have some set of desires. If I ask you to write in a paper, taking a paper and pen, you can write 20, 30, 40 desires you have in life. And your desires will reflect the nature of your mind. In the mind, you will see there are three types of directions people can take. Say, for example, some of your students go, there is a ground floor, first floor, second floor. The ground floor, there is a beer bar, permit room, dim light, cabaret dances going on. They're going on. People are drinking liquor and they are arguing. Their heads are reeling. People are drinking, smoking. Permit room. So some people are going. So you go and see what is available on the ground floor. Then you go to the first floor. There is a gym. People are lifting weight and building body and seeing how, their dumbbells, everything they are using, correct now? So that is a place for boys who want to build up their body and show off how healthy I look like, correct now? Yeah. Then you go to the second floor. There you find, there's a yoga center, there's a Krishna temple, there's kirtan going on, bhajan going on. Devotees are sitting and hearing Bhagavad Gita class like this. So now, which floor will you go? To ground floor or first floor or second floor? Of course, it depends on what is your mindset. Correct, na? So the ground floor is tamaguna. Correct, na? And for tamaguna means nidra, alasya, pramad. Pramad means madness. They put liquor into the mouth. They put cigarette, drugs, all those things. And also, nidra means they oversleep. And also, alasya means they're lazy, lethargic, irresponsible, confused, bewildered, such kinds of people. Illusioned. And rajoguna means sangha and Krishna. They are attached to opposite sex, attached to honor, seeing glamour, showing glamour, such kinds of people. They are compared to passionate lions and tigers and cheetahs, like that kind of mentality. Yeah. And the ground floor, I told you, the Tamaguni people, they are like a fox who keeps late night vigil awake. And the fox never takes initiative. If tiger eats some flesh and leaves behind some pieces, that he'll go and eat. Similarly, boys who are in Tamaguna, they want somebody else to do the assignment and they'll just copy it. They will not take initiative. They're confused, indecisive, no direction in life. They don't know where are they going. Mad, indulging in all bad habits. Somebody asked me yesterday, how can somebody put cigarette or liquor in the mouth? It is so bad. Yes, it is bad, but the Tamaguni people cannot realize it. If a drunkard is lying in a gutter, can you know that he is lying in gutter and suffering? Only if you are going on the road, you can feel pity for him. Poor fellow is lying in the gutter and with a drinking bottle. You can feel pity for him. Tamaguni. So Rajoguni people, those who are in Rajas, they are passionate people, ambitious people, greedy people, leg pulling people. They try to climb on the heads of others, correct? No? So they are always having a competitive drive. And modern day society is characterized very much by passion and ignorance. These two characteristics. They are compared to like lion or tiger or cheetah. And the second floor, which I told you, that is Sattva Guna. That is characterized by Sukham and Jnanam. Sukham and Jnanam. They have, now Jnanam means they have knowledge, wisdom. Like you're all coming to this camp and cultivating knowledge. So they awaken knowledge. And what is that awakening of knowledge? As I told you, the first thing they understand, the whole world is focusing on the dying material body. It is like a eternal, it's like a Diwala bank account versus eternal bank account. Like if you know your bank is going to go Diwala, will you put money there? But that's what the whole world is doing. They are actually putting all investment only on the body and not on the soul, correct? Whereas these training programs which you attend, they teach you where to invest your time, energy, attention, everything. The focus should be on the living spirit soul. See, this shirt you are wearing now, which you will remove and put in a hanger, this got the, this kind of two hands because the body has two hands. Therefore, the shirt has two hands, correct? Otherwise, shirt will it have two hands? No, there's two hands because you have to put this hand into this. Similarly, the soul is taken care, body will also be easily taken care. You don't have to worry. The material welfare follows spiritual welfare like a shadow. Like when you walk, will you have to catch the shadow and carry with you? No, shadow follows you. Correct? No? Similarly, you will see that if the soul is kept healthy, body will be healthy. Now, what is the proof for this? For example, when you all came for the Sankalp camp, you learned about Mrigari drama, you saw? Yes. Right. So after seeing Mrigari drama, many of you might have decided to give up meat eating. Correct? No? In case you are eating meat. How many of you are eating meat before now you gave it up after seeing Mrigari drama? You gave it up. There are about how many? There are about 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. How many of you saw Mrigari drama, still you feel I can't give up meat? Anybody? There's nobody. Okay. How many of you, whether you saw Mrigari drama or not is another thing. After coming to Krishna consciousness, you don't have to tell me what bad habit. You had some bad habit, but you gave it up. Yes. See the good number, correct? That means when the switch light is on, then darkness is gone. Correct, no? You will see that. You cannot simultaneously have a tube light on and then there is also darkness. Not possible. So once the wisdom awakens, sukham, jnanam. When jnanam awakens, sukham also comes, happiness. Because imagine so many of you are sitting now, if this room is pitch dark, one boy comes running into the room, he will put his leg on somebody's head, somebody's thighs. People will be screaming, hey, who is this? But when light is on, he will not do that. He will find out where is the way and slowly he will walk in. So that means if you have knowledge, you won't cause trouble to others. And you won't cause trouble to yourself also. Then you get sukham. Then you get happiness. So everybody is looking for happiness, but the Tamoguni people get happiness in liquor and smoke and drugs and all that. Is it happiness? It is another name of suffering. But they imagine it to be happiness. Similarly, Rajoguni people also. So these three gunas are very nicely explained by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. So why I told you this? Because when you engage in Rajoguna, Tamaguna activities, our mind becomes filled with three impurities, which are lust, anger, and greed. Can somebody map this lust, anger, greed with the three things I told you yesterday: proprietorship, controllership, enjoyership? Which one matches with which one? There's no prize here now, but we'll note your name. Later on, we'll give you a prize. Which one matches with which one? Krishna says, Trividam narakasyedam dwaram nashanamaatmanah kama krodha tata lobas tasmat etatrayam tyajet. These three enemies are gateways to hell, Arjuna. Lust, anger, and greed. Any intelligent person will give them up and not become their slave, he says. And they should be mapped with proprietorship, controllership, enjoyership. How will you match it? No. That is already, I told you, Tamaguna, Rajaguna, Sattva, I told you. I am telling you to match these three. Lust, anger, greed with proprietorship, controllership, enjoyership. Which one matches with which one? Give the mic to him. Yes. That matches with
controllership.
Anger. Correct. Give him an applause. Very good. Like, for example, Hiranyakashipu tried to control Prahalad. Could he control? No. Therefore, he became. Durvasa Muni tried to give a curse to Ambarish Maharaj and tried to, kill him with a demon. Could he kill?
No.
Instead, he was chased by a Sudarshan Chakra. So therefore, he became angry with Ambarish. Correct. That means when we try to control, we cannot control. We become. Okay, that's correct. Anybody else? One more? Yes.
Proprietorship with greed.
Correct. Correct. Proprietorship is greed. Like, for example, if you keep a sack of rice, sparrow will come, eat little bit and go away. Dog will come, eat little and go away. When human being comes, will he take little and go away? He will take the whole sack. And that is called greed, isn't it? Everybody doesn't want to use the things in this world. They want to take the things. The human being has the tendency. Like one time I remember in Janmashtami we had put a table. So we had put some brochures, booklets and all. One old lady came. She said, "Ye muft mein hai kya?" She was asking. "Is it free?" She asked. Then we looked at her. She was already like 75, 80 years old. And it's an English brochure. We asked her, "Do you know English?" She said, "No, I don't know." "Then why do you want to take it?" "Because in India, anything we give free, people want to take it." Correct? No, you've seen that? And they want muft mein, everything. So, therefore, the conditioned soul has a tendency to always take. He doesn't want to give at all. We say now, God gives and forgives. Man gets and forgets. So, therefore, the greed means proprietorship mentality, wanting to possess more and more and more and more. Yesterday we gave many examples. Correct? No? That means you take your quota, little bit, whatever human body requires, and then focus on the supreme. You should, as I told you, what is the soul? What is God? What is my relationship? Where do I belong to? Why have I come into this world? Why am I suffering from all this, adhyatmika, ati bhautika, ati devika? You all know this, right? Why am I suffering from all this? This trishul. How to get out of this suffering? This body is such a nasty body. Every 9 holes of this body are emanating all foul-smelling substances, right? Whether it is stool or urine or mucus or, saliva or wax in the ear. Every hole you see, you can name something. Here there is wax. Nose there is mucus. Mouth there is saliva. Then there is urine in the front, there is stool at the back. All the holes are it's a nasty body. Early morning one should rise and immediately cleanse the body of these impurities immediately. Release the stool, urine, mucus, whatever. Cleanse the mouth. If you don't clean the mouth, what will happen? If you imagine a boy came here without washing the mouth with toothpaste, what will happen? Mouth will stink. Correct, no? Isn't it? Yeah. If you don't bathe the body, then the secretions of the body will be stinking. Correct, no? Similarly, if you don't chant the holy name, mind will be stinking. Sir, how does the mind stink? Mind stinks with 3 things: lust, anger, and greed. Proprietorship, controllership, enjoyership mentality. This is how mind stinks. Why do we call it stinking? Because, lusty people are the ones who engage in gang rapes, for example. In Hyderabad, 3 fellows engaged in gang rapes. The police caught them and took them to forest and shot them. Pew, pew, pew. You know that? Some time ago, some years ago, maybe 2 years ago, I think. Some people said, इतना तो बुरा नहीं करना चाहिए. Shooting क्यों कर दिया? Huh? Why they are shooting? This is too much. But what the government said, unless you shoot people for these lusty activities, other fellows will not learn a lesson. Then everywhere there will be a lot of immorality going on. Correct, no? So you can see that these people troubled one girl, 3, 4 of them jointly, and then they all were shot also. This is a result of, in cinemas also you find a man is catching a woman, another fellow is preparing a gun to shoot him. At least a knife at least, correct, no? You see, because these are illicit activities are connected to criminal activities. You will see that. Similarly, anger also. Anger causes, one fellow is angry with somebody and that fellow is fearful also, correct, no? Anger and fear go together. You can see that. Similarly, proprietorship means greed. One builder has this property, and he's telling this in between man, hey, sell this to me and you vacate this place. And this man says, no, it's ancestral property, I don't want to sell. Then this fellow says, if you don't sell this to me, ko uda dunga. Correct, no? People do such things. So you will always find in the material world, lust, anger, and greed are the polluting agents in the minds of the living beings. From lust comes all the gang rapes and all those things. From the greed comes money scandals. And from the anger comes criminal activities, murders, all those things. Whatever you read in paper, you can map it back to these 3 impurities in the mind. And you all may say that, Prabhu, we are not so bad, we won't do such things. You may not do, but you know very well how these 3 impurities are, dancing in our heart and making us a slave. So how do we cleanse these impurities? Like I told you, you have to cleanse the mouth, you have to cleanse the body. How do you clean? Like anybody knows, you want to clean a copper vessel, how do you clean it? Brass or copper? Pitambari, correct. You have a specific agent which cleanses it, right? So I was keeping an ink pen here. Like that, a big ink water has come. Tomorrow I put some surf and then I wash it. Everything, the shirt got washed, but this round thing, ink thing remains as it is. You've seen that? So what do you do? How do you remove that? Bleach. He says we have to put bleaching powder, or we have to put some, nowadays they have vanish, something like that, correct? No? Or some kerosene or petrol, something they put and remove it. Then it can be cleaned. That means cleaning everything requires a specific agent. You agree? Similarly, cleaning mind, how do you clean the mind? Do you take out the mind and clean it? How do we cleanse the mind? Chanting. That is the chanting is prescribed. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So it's a duty of the Guru that like a mother wakes up a sleeping child. Like that the Guru should wake up the disciples in the early morning hours. Because why in the early morning hours the Gurus would ring the bell and wake up the disciples? Because the cleansing of the mind is best done in the early morning hours, called Brahma Muhurta. Like once I was staying with brahmacharis for a shibir. We went to a place called Aligarh in Maharashtra. So we were staying in a house, building just opposite to ocean, sea face. So morning, we were chanting at the roof terrace. We were all sitting and we were watching the ocean and we were chanting. One observation I made, the ocean waves which were coming to the shores, they were throwing out all the impurities in the shore. A lot of dirty slag impurities in the early morning hours. Then later on we had classes and everything. At the noon time I saw 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Big waves are coming, but there was no impurity coming out. Impurities are jumping up and down, but they are not coming out. The impurities are jumping along with the waves, but they are not released by the ocean. So then I observed that even in nature also this phenomenon works. That early morning hours, the ocean is able to remove its impurities. Whereas in daytime, it is jumping up and down like a ghost with the impurities. So what did you learn from this? When you chant in the early morning, it's easy to concentrate also. And you can throw out the impurities, lust, anger, greed. But in the daytime, lust, anger, greed is there, it is visible, but it's jumping up and down, creating a passion in us. Correct, no? So it's a very observable phenomenon. Early morning is in Sattva Guna. Daytime is in Jaguna. Night time is in. Yeah. So one should actually sleep at night, not keep awake at night. Many boys sleep at 3 o'clock. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, late at night. There is one verse about Lord Rama. Shri Ramam Dasharatatmajam Aprameyam Sitapatim Raghukulan Mayaratna Deepam Ajanubahu Aravinda Dalayataksham Nishachara Vinashakaram Namami. That's the verse. No? This verse says Nishachara Vinashakaram. Those who are awake at night, Lord Rama destroys, he says. My Lord, dangerous. If you are studying at night, will Rama come to destroy? The meaning is what? Nishachara means those who are awake at night are generally demons, because demons get power after the sun sets. And demigods have power when the sun is up in the sky. Correct, no? That is why demigods tell the Supreme Lord, my Lord, night is approaching, quickly finish the demons. Because night they will get very strong. Because the nighttime activities are dark activities, sinful activities, like prostitution or like drinking liquor, smoke. Why they do it in the night? Thieves are awake at night or in the daytime? Yeah, thievery and all happens in the night, correct, no? Because these are dark, sinful activities. And they have to do at night, because if you switch on the light and everything, then impurity is seen as impurity clearly. Correct, no? Therefore, they want to be in illusion and do all wrong things in the night. But what devotees do, at the time they sleep away. Huh? They go to sleep, let the world, whatever nasty things they want to let them do, but you sleep. And morning when you get up, they will be sleeping in the daytime. You will see that. Huh? The devotees are awake in the morning. So the duty of the guru is to wake up the disciple early in the morning. And because that is the time we can cleanse the mind. Now, why to cleanse the mind? The mind is sometimes compared to an elephant. See, the elephant is a good animal, at the same time dangerous animal also sometimes. Like there are videos I have about how the elephant can become a bike, chasing the bike riders in the forest, attacking them, killing them. Or sometimes you find a mad elephant can pick a scooter and break it to pieces. Or even an auto it can lift. Can you imagine? Elephants have such power, yeah, very mighty. Can crush a whole car completely. They have huge strength. So mad elephants have been shot dead many times. Our mind can become mad. When it becomes bad, it becomes mad. And it is difficult to control it. And it will not listen to you. It will do many, many wrong things, despite you are not wanting also. On the other hand, if there is a trained elephant, we can even walk him on the road. The elephant can give ashirwad. The elephant can even draw an elephant picture. So I will give videos to whom you can see. Kadamakan Prabhu. Kadamakan Prabhu is here. I'll give it to you. Later on, you can send it to them by WhatsApp or something. They can see it on their own. Leisurely, they can see those videos. So, good elephant and mad elephant. I have both. You can see that. So, the good elephant, what it does, it gives ashirwad, it draws an elephant, and it carries Lord on the back. You have seen that? Temples and all, they have utsavams, the elephant carries. So, on the other hand, when the elephant is mad, very dangerous. It can destroy scooter, car, people also it can kill. Very dangerous. It will just smash the people actually. So, now that's a good news for you. The mind may have impurities, but you can cleanse it by chanting and make it like a trained elephant. A trained elephant can do a lot of good work, correct? It can even uproot a tree. It can carry trunks of wood and put it in the lorry, correct now? So many things a good elephant can do. So, Shastras say that one should train the mind. Uddharedatmanatmanam atmanam avasadayet atmaivahi atmano bandhur atmaivari puratmanah. He says that the mind can be the best of friends, Arjun. At the same time, it can be the worst of enemies. The choice is yours. Do you want to make it your best friend or want to make it your worst enemy? You have the choice. There was one Baba who was approached by one man who said, hey Baba, please give me a blessing by which I can complete lot of work. Huge amount of work. I have many, many acres of land to be plowed. I have many, many buildings to be constructed. And so much activity to be done, and I don't have any help. I am single. Can you give me some jinn who can do all the work? Jinn? Yeah. And Baba said, yeah, take this jinn with you, but one condition, he has to be always engaged. If you don't engage him, he will eat you up. he said. He said, no, I have enough work to give him. So he took him and said, hey, Jinn, come here, 1,000 acres you have to plow. And the Jinn went in the morning and evening came back and said, sir, done. He said, 1,000 acres you plowed? He said, yes, I have done. He was so fast. Then he said, okay, now you start this construction of the house in this. I want a 5-story building. You make 4 blocks, he said. And the Jinn went next day. Within 2 days, he finished and came back and said, sir, that is also done now. It was very fast. Now, one by one, he gave him 3-4 activities. After that, he was done with all activities. And the Jinn was staring at him. Hey, are you going to give me some work or not? Otherwise, I'll swallow you, he said. And the man got frightened. He ran to the Baba again and said, Baba, please take the Jinn back. He's creating trouble. I'm afraid he's going to eat me up. What is the use of doing all this if he eats me up? Then Baba laughed and said, such a small thing you don't understand. You don't know how to keep him engaged. Baba gave him one ladder. Ladder? CD. He said, take it home. Just put the CD like this and tell this Jinn, go up and come down. Go up and come down. Keep doing it. Only when there is work, I will call you. Other times, what do you do? Keep going up and coming. CD. The man thought, a wonderful idea. That's what he did. So when the Jinn was engaged in that way, he was always occupied. He was never free. Then the Jinn never could eat him up or create trouble. And when he had good work to do, he used him, he employed him fruitfully. Correct? So anybody can guess what is this Jinn compared to? Mind. And what is the CD compared to? Chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Again, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Ram, Ram. In this way, engage the mind, then the mind will be quiet. It will give up its bad activity. In fact, you will purify the mind also. Of course, purifying the mind requires concentration, like a lens focusing on a focal point. So the more you are able to focus while chanting, withdraw the mind from wandering here and there. The diffused rays are going here and there, worries about the past, fear of the future and everything. You pull it. Krishna says that initially it's difficult, but over a period of time it is possible. Yato rischalati manaschanchalamasstiram tatastato niyamyetat atmaniyeva vasham nayat. He says, pull the mind back and focus it on the chanting of the holy name. And the more you do that well, and good news for you is, although my mind wanders a lot, in the early morning hours, it is possible to pull the mind back more easily. Because the Rajaguna, Tamaguna, their push is much lesser in the early morning hours. So mind cannot drag you too much in the morning. You can bring it back very easily and focus on the chanting. Whereas in daytime, mind wandering is too much. In the night, dirty thoughts can come. It can drag you down. Tamaguni thoughts will come. But in the morning time, chanting is very easy. The nature is cooperating with you. The time is very favorable, anukool. And world is also very calm. And also all the, people's mobiles are also sleeping along with them. That means the global gossip is also relatively less in the morning. So because of that, it's very, very favorable time in the morning, Brahma Muhurta time. So the mind is like a microprocessor, and the hands, legs are like servo motors. So if the mind has impure vibrations, then the hands, legs will do impure activities. If the mind has pure vibrations, hands, legs will do pure activities. As simple as that. Like for example, you're all coming for this camp, so your mind is getting filled with pure vibrations in a very holy place, isn't it? And naturally, when you go back to your room, morning you'll get up and take some 2 agarbattis and you will show to Lord. Another boy who didn't attend the camp, who never got spiritual knowledge, early morning gets up and takes a cigarette. Both are giving out smoke, isn't it? One is a divine smoke, one is nasty smoke. So your hands catch will depend on what you have in your mind. Very simple, isn't it? So it's a Gigo principle. Good in, good out. Garbage in, yes, as simple as that. So give good inputs to your mind during the day by studying the Gita and the small books of Srila Prabhupada and everything. And stay with devotees. In the early morning hours, chant the holy name. That means the old stock of impurities that are there in your mind, you are cleansing it by chanting already. Correct, no? You are washing it away. Little by little, that will go away. Over a period of time, it will be completely gone. Like if you take a young bottle and pour water, it becomes bluish. Again, keep pouring water, light blue. Again, keep pouring water, no blue. Only water remains. Like that, all the impurities will be little by little taken out by the chanting of the holy name. And you hear the chanting is like putting water into the ink bottle. It's like that. So, therefore, the chanting focus is very, very important, because whatever you focus on, your mind absorbs in that. So, long before, in the Bhagavatam, it is mentioned there was a small boy, Dhruva, who was insulted by his stepmother, that you can't sit on the lap of your father. So he was deeply insulted being a Kshatriya boy. He felt like a snake is trampled upon by boots. Like that, the snake becomes angry, no? Like that, Dhruva became angry. He wanted to take revenge against his stepmother. And he went to his mother crying. His lips were quivering, tears were coming in his eyes. And his mother told, Beta, look at this situation. You want to get a kingdom greater than your father. Why only father? Your father, grandfather, his father, everybody. Your father is Uttanapad. His father is Swayambhamanu. Swayambhamanu's father is Brahma. So all these great personalities got their kingdom only from Lord Vishnu. So if you want a great kingdom, you go to Lord Vishnu. He'll give you. Think about your progress. Don't think about pulling others' legs. This is the first teaching she taught. What a brilliant thing. When I told this in one company, there was a big applause. I was amazed how this company managers applauded. Later on, one fellow said, Sir, such a good point you made. Think about your progress. Don't think about pulling others' legs. Sir, I have been wasting my last 4 years pulling others' legs. He said, I got tired. That fellow is not coming down. I am not able to go up also. Better now I focus on my life now, he said. And she said, don't harbor any malice towards anybody. If you think bad of others, you suffer more than them. It's like taking a hot coal and running behind somebody. Your hand only is burning. Don't think bad about others. Sarve janaha sukhino bhavantu sarve santu niramaya. These verses say, always think of well-being of other living beings. Then your heart will be positive and always feel, your heart will be like a garden full of fragrant roses. Have to be like that. But if you think bad of others, try to pull others' legs down, you're envious, then your heart will be full of thorny bushes. It will be like that. You can never be happy yourself. So his mother taught him this. Then he asked his mother, okay, I'll go to find out Vishnu, but where can I find him? She said, you can ask the saintly people. Where the saintly people live? She said, go to the forest, you'll find many sages and saints there. So he found Narada in the forest. So Narada told him that Narada taught him the Ashtanga Yoga path, which begins with Yama, Niyama, Pranayama, Asana, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. So Yama and Niyama means do's and don'ts. He taught the first things. I'll quickly tell you what are the do's and don'ts. He said, Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha, Yamaha. Ahimsa means don't injure other living beings. Because after injuring other living beings, you can't live a peaceful life. For example, I pinch my neighbor and keep quiet. Is it all right? He will also pinch me, no? Therefore, don't trouble other living beings. So then material world is characterized by everybody troubling one another. Mosquito comes to sit and, releases its needle. It just sucks your blood. And you take electric bat and you also roast him. So who is troubling whom? Both are troubling one another. This is the way this world is. Whole world. So what you should do, you go inside the mosquito net and cover the mosquito net so you don't harm him. And he will also fly to next house. He knows this fellow is intelligent fellow. So you don't harm him and he won't harm you, correct now? So keep away, ahimsa. And satya means always speak truthfully. Don't speak lies. Because if you speak lies, tomorrow somebody comes to you, you may not know to which person what lie you told. You have to ask him, which lie I told you yesterday. So don't speak lies, you'll get tension. Ahimsa, satya, asteya. Don't steal the credit that is due for others. That will make you miserable also. And brahmacharya means don't throw bura nazar at women. Don't throw a look like a Ravana towards women. Women are not meant for your enjoyment. Every woman has her husband. See every woman like a mother, except one's wife. That is brahmacharya. This is Ramanuja says this, Sripad Ramanujacharya. But brahmacharya also means keeping celibacy. Marriage is allowed. Marriage is allowed. If somebody wishes to marry and beget children, and raise them in devotion, perfectly justified. But otherwise, you are all young boys. One should see women with respectful eyes. One should not indulge in adultery. Then brahmacharya, aparigraha means don't accumulate too many things which you don't use. How many of you feel that we have many things which you are not using, but you're going on accumulating? You have experience? Correct? So that should be reduced. Why it should be reduced? Because more you possess, more the maintenance. More the maintenance, more the time is lost. More time is lost, no time for chanting. Therefore, keep less goods and then use them well. So that is the Vedic life. Like one man went from 2 BHK to 3 BHK, big house. His wife said, this 3 BHK is like a football ground. So get sofas, then he got sofa. Get a washing machine, he got a washing machine. Get a TV, he got a TV. Get some, showcase this thing. Then he got everything. Now the house became filled. Then after a week, she said, washing machine is not working, go and repair it. He went for repairing. The following week, she said, TV is not working, go and repair it. He went for repairing. Now you understand what happened with him? That means more you increase the material goods, more material time is lost. So therefore we say maximize Krishna time, minimize Maya time. Repeat. For that aparigraha. Okay. And then these are all yama, don'ts. And then do's, niyama. Niyama means like shaucha santosha swadhyaya japa ishwara pranidhani yamaha. It says shaucha means keep yourself clean. Get up early in the morning, brush your teeth, take a bath, clear your belly, stomach is empty, so you are very fresh. You cleanse the body. Then you chant the holy name. Keep your mind also clean. Keep your money clean by not taking any bribe. Don't cheat other living beings. Honorably earn the money and spend it. Like that. Keep money clean, speech clean, behavior clean. Study the Shastra and speak purely. Benefit others, benefit yourself also. So this is Shaucha. Santosha means satisfaction. Everybody in this world is put in a rigid destiny conditions. So learn to be satisfied. Don't be greedy. Don't have unhealthy comparison with other living beings. There are people who are more handsome than you. There are people who are more uglier than you. There are people who are more richer than you. There are people more poorer than you. Correct? Everybody in this world is put in a rigid condition according to your purva janma karma phala, previous life. So therefore, don't unhealthy, like Duryodhana was making unhealthy comparison with Pandavas, right? And he got destroyed eventually. So, therefore, people in the role of father like Dhritarashtra destroyed Duryodhana by showing false attachment, correct? No? He fueled in Duryodhana's heart desire for women, money, and kingdom and everything, and he destroyed his son completely. On the other hand, Rishabhadev, he trained his sons, 100 sons, and made them exalted devotees of the Lord. So the Guru's duty is to actually bring out the angel in you, not bring out the animal in you. So in this way, Shaucha, Santosha, Swadhyaya means study the scriptures like Gita Bhagavatam. Japa, chant the japa daily, Hare Krishna japa. And Ishvara Pranidhani, depend on the Lord. Always think about how wonderful the Lord is, how He is making arrangements to take me back. He is so merciful. He is coming in the form of holy books, holy devotees, holy prasadam, holy name, holy scriptures, holy dhams. He is coming and taking me back what all arrangements He has made. He has sent me the holy spiritual master and everything. So in this way, these are the 10 items you do. Yama, Niyama, and then Pranayam. Pranayam, what it does, for example, if somebody gets a very nasty thought, lusty thought, agitating your senses, you saw some poster or some unfortunate bad video you saw, somebody showed you, immediately you plug your nose. Don't close your mouth also tightly, like this. Then all your lusty thoughts will evaporate within a minute if you catch your nose. Because your breathing is stopped now. Mind will come, mind will come running. Hey, क्या हो गया? क्यों मार रहे हो मुझे? Because when you're breathing very nicely, that's the time lusty thoughts can come. You plug your nose. Then you do anulam vilam pranayam, like this. Then it calms the mind, makes the mind come to ground level. Anytime you mind is going towards wrong direction, immediately you should get up and do jogging or take a shower under the shower bath, or you do this breathing, anulam vilam pranayam. The mind becomes calm. But the pranayam can only calm the mind, but cannot purify the mind. Because if you have dust in water, that dust can be settled. But you take a spoon and stir it, again it will come. Whereas chanting Hare Krishna will uproot the impurities. You know the difference? Like if you have a grass, you're trimming like that. Now it looks like it's gone. Next day morning, it will come back again. Correct, no? Because the root is still there. Whereas if you uproot it, throw it away, then it cannot grow. Therefore, we should do chanting besides pranayam. If one wanted to pranayam, you can do, but that's not enough. That's only temporary solution. Chanting is permanent solution. And then pranayam and asanas. Asanas controls the senses. The different asanas. For example, you sit in the sukhasana. Like I am sitting in sukhasana now. Or padmasana also, you all know. Correct, no? Then the blood flow to the lower part of the body is arrested completely. Then all the blood can go up and help in meditation and concentration very nicely. Sitting erect, Krishna says, Shuchau deshe, patishta, pestiram asanam atmanah. If you keep your two hands like a bamboo, like this, you will never feel sleepy. If you keep like this. Otherwise, slowly when sleep comes, like this, hand comes. So then you keep it erect. Because from this sleeping is difficult. Your spine is vertical, erect. And two hands are like bamboos. Try this. Yeah. Correct. Now, if you sit like this, it's difficult to sleep in this. So Krishna gives this posture in Bhagavad Gita. So and then yama, niyama, pranayama, asanas. And then after that, pratyahara is saying, don't give unfavorable items into your 5 indriyas, like eyes, nose, ears, mouth, and skin. One should, like for example, see the deity form of the Lord with your eyes. With the mouth, speak the glories of the Lord, eat prasadam. The nose, smell the flower offered to him. With the ears, hear the Krishna Katha like that. With the hands, you bow down and touch the feet of the Lord and things like that. Positive things you do. Don't give negative inputs to the senses through this. So in this way, pratyahara means shut off the senses to Maya and allow the senses for Krishna. Like if Krishna element goes in, welcome. Maya comes, you say no. So yes to Krishna, not to Maya. That is pratyahara. Then you enter into full concentration. Concentration and super concentration. Those are the last 3 stages. Dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Dharana means to hold. Like this, I am holding this kartal now. This is called dharana. I'm holding the mind in the chanting of the holy name. That means when you are chanting, the mind is soaked like a sponge in water. In chanting of the holy name, you can clearly hear the holy name. Dharana means 12 seconds you can hear the holy name. And dhyana means 12 into 12. How much? 144 seconds you can hear the holy name. Samadhi means 12 into 12 into 12. It comes to 25 minutes, 28 seconds. Close to half an hour. So for half an hour, your mind never wandered anywhere. Fully you could hear the chanting. That will happen to you. That is great concentration. So how is this concentration like? I'll give you an example. Like if you take a blotting paper and keep a ink pen, whether it spreads, you have seen that? Like that, the mind is completely occupied with chanting. Or sometimes you eat prasadam in a plate. Plate is dried, hands are dried, you are talking to somebody. Then you fill the plate with water, overflood the plate with water and leave it on the sink. Later on you come and see it's very easy to clean. Because when you hold water inside the plate, it removes all the sticky things. Correct, no? Similarly, the chanting of the holy name should be held in the heart and mind by attentive hearing. Just like you have seen this Vicks vapor of advertisement, you have seen that? If something is getting trouble, they apply the Vicks. Next day morning, it's gone. Like the chanting of the holy name removes the kitch of the lust, anger, greed. All that is removed. And then when mind is clean, it's like taking a wet cloth and wiping a dusty mirror. When you wipe with a wet cloth, the mirror can clearly you can see your face. Chanting does that type of powerful effect. So Narada taught all this to Dhruva. And he also gave the mantra. At that time in Satya Yuga, he gave him this mantra. All of you repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So Dhruva chanted this mantra, and he became completely purified in 6 months. And the result was Lord Vishnu from in his heart appeared in front of him. And Dhruva's body was trembling. Earlier he was trembling with anger on his stepmother. Now he was trembling with happiness. bliss, ecstasy. Now his lips were also shaking because earlier his lips were quivering to speak back to mother, stepmother, or attack her. But now his lips are quivering to glorify Lord Vishnu. Earlier he was shedding hot tears. Now he was shedding cold tears now. Hot tears of anger. Now he was shedding cold tears of love for the Lord. And then he was folding the palms and saying the Lord offered obeisances to him. Lord took pity on Dhruva. He thought he never went to Gurukula. He has never done Akshara Abhyas and all that. How will he recite poetry now? The Lord thought, I'll bless him. So he took his shank and kept on his forehead. As soon as the shank was kept, his whole body became spiritually electrified. Just like if you put an iron rod in fire, it becomes, for a period of time, red hot, then yellow hot, white hot, it becomes like that, glowing like fire. Then the iron rod is no more iron rod, it behaves like fire. You can burn a paper, cotton, anything. So Dhruva became like that. Then that is how Dhruva's small boy could recite amazing prayers. Yonta pravishya mamavate mimam prasuptam sanjeevayatta kila shaktidhara swadhamna anyasta hastacharana shravanat pagadin prana namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam bhaktim muhu pravahatam tvayime prasango bhuyadananta mahatam amalashayanam yenanja solbanamaru vyasanam bhavabdhim neshye bhavad gunakatam mritapana. In these two verses, he says, my dear Lord, thank you for your divine touch. I have become completely purified. Lust, anger, greed, everything is driven far away. I have become spiritualized. My hands, my legs, my head, my face, everything has become purified. Especially my tongue is able to recite to your glorification in the form of poetry now, Sanskrit poetry. So it's all by your grace. He's thanking the Lord. Then he's telling, now you will give me darshan and you'll go back in your Garuda, back to your abode of Vaikuntha, then I will be bereft of you. So to remember you, I have one request. Keep me in the association of such wonderful devotees like this. Because when you are with devotees, devotees wear tilak, they have bead bag, they are chanting Hare Krishna, they are hearing and speaking on Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. They take only prasad, they don't kill the animals and birds, they don't indulge in adultery or illicit behavior. They clean life they lead. So let me also live in the company of such devotees. By living amongst them and talking about you, we can remember you very fondly. This is my only request, he said. I don't want anything else. So in this way, Dhruva became a pure devotee, completely. So, therefore, we all are in a similar situation like Dhruva. Dhruva was told by Narada to make a deity form of Krishna. Like we are also worshipping deities in our temple. In Pune, we are worshipping Radha Vrindavan Chandra, Radha Kunja Bihari. Here there is Radha Vrindavan Bihari. So we have a deity form also. And Dhruva was given a mantra. So we are also given which mantra? Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram. So we are also having mantra to chant. We have a deity to worship. Dhruva was told to do Swadhyay. So we are also doing Swadhyay, study of the scriptures also. And in this way, by this, Dhruva became purified. You can be confident that you will also be able to become purified. And what is the proof that he became purified? When he returned, Dhruva returned to the palace, he offered namaskar to both his mother and stepmother also. His stepmother also picked up the child and embraced him just like her own son. She said, Ayushman Baba. She blessed him also. Which goes to show that Dhruva had no more envy. Badla lene ki man chut gaya. That now he was forgiving and he became very big-hearted. And his mind became completely purified. So, Dhruva had a desire for a kingdom before. Now he told the Lord, I don't want anything. I am happy with your bhakti. But Lord still made him king of Dhruva Loka. He got ruled for 36,000 years. Dhruva Loka he ruled. So, and Dhruva is a great example for the youths all across the globe because Dhruva had the determination. The very meaning of the word Dhruva means he is determined. Even as a young child, to go to the forest and do the chanting and focus on Vishnu with a one-pointed concentration and achieve his darshan. Having purified his life, he did great good to the whole world. So, I'm going to show you a slideshow for 10 minutes and then we see here. You all can see here? Brahma Muhurtam of the day. Now you all have risen early in the morning So what is the benefit of rising early? 72 minutes before sunrise. Shastras say that this is the appropriate time to give up sleep. ब्राह्मे मुहूर्ते या निद्रा सा पुण्य क्षय कारिणी. प्रातः काल की निद्रा पुण्यों एवं सत्कर्मों का नाश करने वाली है. That means if प्रातः काल में निद्रा करेगा कोई, if anybody is sleeping in the morning hours, he is destroying his punya. He's saying. But if you are waking up in the morning, you are adding punya more to your life. That is the point. Manusmriti says this. Then Varna Kirti Yashaha Lakshmi Swastyamayushcha Vindati Brahme Muhurte Sanjagram Shriyam Va Pankajam Yata. He's saying, ब्राह्म मुहूर्त में उठने वाला पुरुष सौंदर्य लक्ष्मी स्वास्थ्य आयुष आदि वस्तुओं को प्राप्त करता है. उसका शरीर कमल के समान सुंदर हो जाता है. You see, if you get up in the Brahma Muhurta time, beauty, wealth, good health, long life, everything comes to you, and body becomes beautiful like lotus. In park one day, I saw one man was walking with his dog, catching the leash. One amazing thing I observed: the dog's face cut and his face cut are matching. Dog is, having ears like this, walking. He's also same way. It looks like, because if you associate with somebody very regularly, you also become similar to them in nature. Jaisa sang, vaisa. On the other hand, every day morning you get up and see the smiling face of Krishna, who is playing on his flute. Krishna and Radharani, you take their darshan and you're chanting the whole name in the morning. Then your body becomes like a beautiful lotus, he says. Then, therefore, Prabhupada was told by one Professor Stahl in America, how all your devotees are so bright-faced. When they wear the tilak and they are shaven and they are chanting bead they are carrying. These boys and girls were so ugly looking before because of drinking, smoking, so much of mustache and beard and long hair. They looked like bums. But now they look so blissful. So, therefore, those who rise early in the morning and cultivate this type of culture, they become more beautiful, he says. In the morning hours, there is no bad influence of planets like Rahu, Ketu and all that. There's no bad influence of any planets. That means you are free from any trouble. Even in your horoscope, some graha is troubling you, but morning time he can't trouble you. Only daytime he can trouble you. Yeah. Just like there is more heat in our body during summer, similarly, every activity in the outside world has an effect on our mind also, inside our body. So Brahma Muhurta is the beginning of every day. At this time, prana and apana vayu are active. So, because of this, in the early morning hour, you have a positive impact on your mind, he's saying. Even physically speaking, the ozone in the morning hours is very good for breathing. If one gets up early in the morning, one gets the benefit of O3. They say in the early morning hours. Ozone. This time is compared to the period between Garbhavas and coming out of the Garbha of the mother. So whatever bad influence we have got during our stay in the womb, some genetical disorders and things like that, in physical, mental levels, Brahma Muhurta provides an opportunity to repair them, to improve that. For example, some of you may have some genetic deficiencies. You have heard this, some boys having this bipolar problem, you know that? Some are suffering bipolar problem. Some people are suffering schizophrenia. I have a research paper which says that by chanting Hare Krishna, you can go beyond schizophrenia also. Some mental related illness also. There are doctors in Germany who have published a paper. I have an article. So, therefore, even many genetic and apparently incurable diseases can be cured by doing bathing, yoga, meditation during the Brahma Muhurta time. And also, the six chakras are there. The bottommost chakra is called Mooladhara chakra. The topmost chakra is called Brahmarandra chakra. So these 6 chakras are elaborately studied in Raja Yoga, you know that. So they say in the early morning hour from the Brahmarandra, which is called as a 1,000-petaled lotus, they call it, and doctors call it pituitary glands, which is floating in a liquid in the head here. So that is a very vital gland which is supplying many things to the body. So that particular Brahmarandra in the morning time secretes 1 drop of amritam, like 1 drop of nectar it releases. He says, the Amrita Tattva, he says, in the human body daily during Brahma Muhurta time, Sahasra Chakra releases 1 drop of nectar substance. Therefore, it has been considered very vital time for yoga tantric sadhana. This Amrita Tattva doesn't get developed ordinarily, but only when we do sadhana. For full benefit, the Vishuddha Chakra of the sadhaka should be to be awakened is necessary. This way, the Amrita Tattva gets naturally accumulated in the Nabhi. And then the sadhaka can take its benefit in various ways. That means the morning time, if you get up, take a bath and sit and do chanting meditation, then this Amrita drop gradually accumulates and surrounds the Nabi and increases vitality of the body, mind and soul. Many divine demigods are flying in the sky in the early morning time. So if you want to take benefit of the divine powers, if the demigod sees that, hey, this boy has gotten up in the morning, they'll shower some blessing upon you and go. But if they see you sleeping, they will say, look at this fellow, he got a human body, he's wasting his human life. Useless fellow, like that it will say. They will say. So if you want that blessing, then you have to be up in the morning. And when you are bathing, one can meditate on the Paramatma or Super Soul, then it's called Brahma Snan. Or if you think of Ganga, Yamuna, Kaveri, Saraswati, then it is called Deva Snan. So all the three doshas like Kapha, Vata, Pitta get balanced in the early morning hours if you take bath, by the morning bath. And mind and intelligence become stronger in the morning. That means intelligence can be made stronger, mind can be cleared and purified. These are easy to do in the early morning hours. Yeah. During Mamurta, the tamasic powers are in sleeping state. Correct? I told you. Night time they are at the peak. As the morning Brahma Murta is going to start, all the tamasic powers run far away. They are afraid. Mind and intelligence are positively oriented. One can quickly get absorbed in meditation. And one's ability to memorize also is strong. Actually, I was staying in this place, Govardhanako village, for 2 years. I studied Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. We completed it. Every day I used to memorize 5 shlokas. So we must memorize more than 1,000 shlokas. But when I used to do early morning, I'll get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I used to memorize 5 shlokas. It will just register very quickly in the mind. Big shlokas we can remember. If you memorize in the early morning. An Ayurvedic lifestyle can only be properly practiced if you wake up in Brahma Muhurta. See, Ayurvedic medicines have a long-standing effect, correct, no? And they are very harmless and very nourishing for the body, very healthy. But you can only take advantage of that if you have a habit of rising early, he's saying. Ayurvedic patients. Allopathy, you know how dangerous it is many times. But Ayurvedic medicine, if you want the benefit, you have to rise early in the morning. So, therefore, please don't consider waking up in Brahma Muhurta to do meditation as a burden. Consider this as a special gift. Some people think that, oh, how can I miss the morning sleep? It is so enjoyable. And yes, that gives you pleasure. That pleasure is called tamaguni pleasure, sleeping in the morning. But if you wake up, take a bath and sit and chant, you're brisk and fresh, then that happiness is sattvic happiness. So you want tamasic or sattvic happiness? Yeah, because the buffaloes, pigs and all inside the gutter, pig is happy and the buffaloes in a pond is lying. They are also happy. But their happiness is tamasic happiness. But sattvic means you rise early in the morning, take a bath, wear a tilak, and also when you come and chant, when the mind is cleansed, you feel a lot of courage and confidence. Then you can start your day with a fresh note every day. Thank you. Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So in this morning talk today, I told you many things. I told you about the elephant-like mind and lens-like concentration and focus. I spoke about those things. And I also spoke about the 3 gunas, Sattva guna, Rajaguna and Tamaguna. I explained them very elaborately to you. And also I told you about how this material body is, jada is temporary. We should not focus our attention on the dying material body, but we should focus our attention on the eternal spirit soul. Then it is a worthy investment. Body is like a Diwala bank. Today or tomorrow, the body will be finished. In the COVID time, even young boys and even children also died. You know that? Yeah, so kuch bharosa nahi hai sharir ka. But we should focus on the soul. Very important. That point we elaborately discussed with many examples like the TV and the thermocol I said, and I told you about, the Bangalore family, IT family, husband dying and all that examples we gave. Then I also told about Dhruva Maharaj meeting Narada and learning those 8 items. And the chanting of the whole name is the method of cleansing the mind, like you use a pitambari for cleansing the brass and copper, or you use super rin or some petrol or something, what do you call it, vanish or something to cleanse the ink. Like that, the mind can be cleansed by chanting the holy name with concentration. And and also I told about lust, anger, greed are connected to proprietorship, controllership, and judgeship. These are the impurities in the mind. They are the viruses in our mind. The viruses can be very easily cleansed by chanting. And if you don't chant, the viruses will multiply. Huh? Like if you create a gutter where water is not moving, then mosquitoes will flourish, correct? No? And when you're sleeping at home, they will come and trouble you. They will sing a song in your ear and give you a sting, isn't it? This way, that way, they'll keep troubling you because the gutter is stinking. You are not cleansed it, right? So the material desires are like mosquitoes. They'll come and sting you, sting you, sting you. One material desire, second, third, fourth, and everybody's troubled in the world. But you throw the water out of the gutter and cleanse it and make it smoothly moving. No more mosquitoes. Like that, you cleanse the mind. Nothing is thinking. Mind is cleansed, so the mind is pure. Then you don't become attacked by material desires. You can live peacefully in this world and leave the world with a spiritual consciousness and go back home, back to Godhead very easily. Huh? So my humble request to all of you, uh, ideally speaking, when you come to Spurti camp, you are capable of chanting 8 rounds very easily. Huh? In Sankalp camp, when you finish, you are capable of chanting about 4 rounds. Huh? Because your knowledge has increased a lot now. You have much more awareness than average boys in a college, correct now? Spiritual knowledge. So more the knowledge, more your Shakti to chant also. Hmm. Only thing is, today if we chant now 650 to 8 rounds, if we chant, it will become almost 750, which will be late, I think. Correct now? So how many rounds you can chant? Hare Krishna Prabhu, yeah? Okay. Okay, some of you have already chanted 2 rounds, I heard. 6 rounds you will chant today. Actually, when you have come to a good speed, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If you chant like this, in 6 rounds you can finish in 45 minutes. In this, very easily you can finish. So, in case it takes a little longer, it's all right, no problem. But we'll chant 6 rounds today. Now it is 6:50 now. So we will. So they will tell you more direction about the chanting. And while chanting, 3 things you remember. That's all. All of you repeat. Chant audibly, pronounce clearly, hear attentively. This is what you have to try to do. Huh? Two words at a time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Clearly pronounce it and try to hear it. Yes? Yeah. He's asking, why did I leave IIT lifestyle and then not going to companies and everything, and then I took to this life? Actually, this was my desire in my third or fourth standard itself. Yeah, I come from a Shastri family also. My grandfather was a Shastri, Iyer, Iyer, I mean Brahman family. Actually, I also wanted to go in Shastri line, but my father actually became a professor of English in a government college. And he told me, you also become engineer or a doctor, he said. And then you can see. So I come from a village in Tamil Nadu, close to Madurai, where I used to go to the temple. I wanted to go to Gurukula, but they didn't allow me. They instead brought the Brahmins to teach me Rudram, Chamakam, Yajurveda, and all that. I was chanting and all that. So in my fifth standard, uh, I developed the strong aspiration to be a celibate, brahmachari. So from that time on, I started studying spiritual books very seriously. I have undergone many Bible courses also. Then I studied Bhagavad Gita, many organizations, Ramakrishna Mission, Chinmaya Mission, Divine Life Society of Shivananda, Ramana Maharshi, Aurobindo, all these different books. I had a group of 20-25 friends. One of my friends is in Sanskrit Bharati. One of them is in army. I went in this line. So we all wanted to do something great for the world. Something different, not just, work in a company, earn money and just take prasad and just go to sleep. We didn't want a mediocre life. We want to do something. Some of them went to spiritual line. Somebody went into Air Force and Army line. Some of them became collectors like that. So we all had our ambitions in our group. I had a spiritual ambition. Then 7th or 8th standard, I almost was about to leave home to join Ramakrishna Mission. But my father told me that, see, you are not knowledgeable yet. So first you learn everything, and if you still want to dedicate your life, I'll allow you, he said. Then when I finished my MTech, I worked for 3-4 years, earned money and all, and got my 3 sisters married and settled. Then I took my blessings of parents and I joined after that. 1994, I joined. Then I remained in ISKCON, and I find this life extremely fulfilling because, so many boys are suffering, committing suicide nowadays. Even after becoming IIT engineers, IIT Hyderabad in 2019, 3 boys committed suicide. They jumped off. I feel pity when I see this because we are not giving them the right knowledge. If they get this right knowledge, who will commit suicide? Huh? They don't know what is matter, what is Atma, they don't know. Although they have computer science and all these big, big degrees. So one of my goals is to reach out to different parts of the world and teach the boys to follow the 4 regulative principles. No illicit sex, no reading, no gambling, no intoxication. Another goal is to teach them the chanting of the holy name and experience happiness in their lives. And 99% of our boys go for married life because they are more comfortable to practice with the wife and mother, father, everybody. Many of them come near the temple. In Pune temple, you have 1,000 families around. They stay near the temple. They come and do a lot of seva on the weekend, they do. And some boys dedicate their life as brahmachari who have that strong inclination for a celibate life. That is not a very easy thing. It may be coming through many lifetimes. People who have done in the past, and they have a very strong urge to dedicate life. And they don't feel a need for a woman in their life. Then they can go for celibate life. But we don't say that only celibates can go back to Godhead. We don't say that. Anybody can. Anybody is a bhakta can go back. All right? Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki